Ibadno yeti romemosh moyachto.
אמן. ואתה תצווה את בני ישראל, קחו אליך שמן זית זך כתית למאור להעלות נר תמיד באוהל מועד מחוץ לפרוכת אשר על העדות, יערוך אותו אהרון ובניו מערב עד בוקר לפני אדוני חוקת עולם לדורותם מאת בני ישראל. ואתה קרב אליך את אהרון אחיך ואת בניו איתו מתוך בני ישראל. לכהנו לי אהרון נדב ואביהו אלעזר ואיתמר בני אהרון, ועשית בגדי קודש לאהרון אחיך לכבוד ולתפארת. ואתה תדבר על כל חכמי לב אשר מלטיב רוח חוכמה, ועשו את בגדי אהרון לקדשו. לכהנו לי אלה הבגדים אשר יעשו חושן ואפוד ומעיל וכתונת תשבץ מצנפת ואבנת, ועשו בגדי קודש לאהרון אחיך ולבניו. לכהנו לי, והם ייקחו את הזהב ואת התכלת ואת הארגמן ואת תולת השני ואת השש.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורה ושמח בחיי עולם טוב בסוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן תורה.
יעמוד וחי אפרים ומנחם בנו על ידי.
Next, before he calls speech. Well, he's getting happy, so
אמן. ועשו את האפוד זהב תכלת וארגמן תולת שני ושש מושגר מעשה חושב שתי כתפות חברות יהיה לו אסנקתותיו מחובר וכי שבפקודתו אשר עליו כמעשהו ממנו יהיה זהב תכלת וארגמן ותולת שני ושש מושגר. ולקחת את שתי הבני שום ותחת עליהם שמות בני ישראל.
בחורה במצווה דוד בן יהושע אברהם שלישי.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני מבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה. שישה משמותם על האבן האחת ואת שמות השישה הנותרים על האבן השנית כתולדותם מעשה חרש אבן פיתוחי חותם. תפתח את שתי האבנים על שמות בני ישראל מוסבות משבצות זהב תעשה אותם. שמת את שתי האבנים על קצוות האפוד בני זיכרון לבני ישראל, ונשא אהרון את שמותם לפני אדוני, שתי כתפיו לזיכרון. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו את תורתו, תורת אמת חיי העולם נתן בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שפועלים למצוא של זה.
אברהם שמלאו לו 13 שנה והגיע למצוות ועלה לתורה לתת שבח והודיה להשם יתברך על כל הטובה שגמל איתו. ישמרהו הקדוש ברוך הוא בחיי ויכונן את ליבו להיות שלם עם אדוני וללכת בדרכיו ולשמור מצוותיו כל הימים ונאמר אמן.
אמן.
Where's the man from?
It's over here. Oh, you get the...
ישבח אבותינו ומזבח יורך את חיילי צבא ההגנה לישראל העומדים משפחותינו ועליהם ויעבדנו בסוריה ובמצרים ונהיה גדול עלי ירדן ביבשה באוויר הים ייתן לו את אבינו חמנו אלוקים להם הקדוש ברוך הוא יציל חיילים מכל צרה וכל גודל מחלה יפל לך עצורים ויחזיר את השפוטים ויחזיר את האסורים וישלח ברכה ועזור להם תלבש עליהם.
It's a continuity of steady, of always, should always be continuously tamid. May the Rabbeinu Shalom bless you, and I want you to know that your grandparents from both sides are special people. We became extremely friendly with Dr. Finkelstein, but don't tell him anytime that I don't say the Dvar Torah, he helps me out. But I'm afraid to let him do it always because there would be no job for me. But anyway, his chesed, the chesed of the Finkelsteins, and Dr. particularly, which I know of his desire to learn, to do mitzvahs, and Mrs. Finkelstein, and the mishpacha, the other Zaydin, and of course, Kab Chaim came here with a whole mishpacha. It's really nice of you. I know it wasn't easy to get away from the kerach, from the ice, but Baruch Hashem, look what we have made for you. Florida couldn't compete. So the Rabbeinu Shalom, Dr. Mrs. Sidney Finkelstein, Dr. Daniel, Yeshua Finkelstein, Daniel, and the rest of him, and of course the Daniel Mishpacha, should be always smachot, and that the Rabbeinu Shalom bless you, that your heart should be full of simcha, lahalos ner hamid, always. On behalf of Mr. Kronbein, our Gabbai, on behalf of the Bet HaKnesset, look at the beautiful Tanakh. The Tanakh Hazeh should be, your Moreh Derech should always be able to look up for a posik, because the Torah, Nevi'im, Keduvim, Yehu Chayenu Ve'orech Yomeinu. Kol Tov and Mazel Tov, V'Harvei Shonim Tovot, V'Mazel Tov L'chol HaMishpacha.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. Okay, hold it. Stand over here, stand here. Ah, missed. Okay, just wait. All right, smile. Shh. Go make
You see Yehuda, you see everyone there.
Mazel tov.
How about that carriage? Can you put it in the carriage or Mazel tov.
Keep on eating, but don't chew too loudly, because it makes me nervous. They say the story about Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky's front of the bracha, that whenever he addressed the public, he always stood up. Mishum kavod hatzibur. However, at one time he had trouble with his legs, so instead of standing up, he sat down. He says, that's the kavod haregel. And to the kavod haregel, I'll sit down and make my few remarks. Really, this beautiful affair was the product of my wife's conception and her work and effort and everything that went into making this what it is. It's a beautiful affair. And this is a special tribute to our special grandson, Dovid. Dovid, where are you? That's it. Raise your hand. And we are very happy to do this for him. He is a very, as you heard this morning, very beautiful and wonderful boy. Those ladies who come to my class have met him because last year when he used to come and play basketball on Tuesday afternoon, he used to stop by my class, and there were a few questions and comments he had to make there, which was very nice because I enjoyed his participating. And we thought it would be nice to have here our guests, our friends, our very dear friends from Yerushalayim, and our mishpachos from Chutz La'aretz, and our mishpachos from Eretz Yisrael. I guess you all know our mishpacha from Eretz Yisrael, the Daniel mishpacha. Baruch Hashem, my lovely daughter, and her wonderful husband, and Leah and her other 8 children. And my mechutin came from America. My mechutin, Noah Daniel, his wife Muriel, and Josh's brother Stu.
Hey.
On the other hand, we have my son Chaim and his lovely wife Rizy. Is he Rizy? Okay. And their 4 lovely children who came from America for the occasion. And we had a few surprises. Last night the Eurowitzes popped in from America, and this morning my cousin Hani Jurabel and her husband Zev popped in also from America. Lovely to have you. And our very dear friend of our family for years and years, Dr. Jean Jaffin and her lovely daughter Fegi came on also with a special occasion. And I'm not going to speak too long now at this point anyway. We'll leave it a little for later. However, my son-in-law wants to say a few words of greeting at this point. I'll ask him to come forward. Josh, you come forward and say a few words of greeting.
With my shvers, permission, I'll stand while I speak. I'd like to begin with that side of the Sudas Mitzvah. According to most of our poskim, this morning is Dafka the Sudas Mitzvah of the Bar Mitzvah because it's Oto Yom. In fact, I learned this morning, I started to say Tachanun in Shul. After all, I was a Shliach Tzibur and I had the right to do anything I wanted. So Rabbi Kowalski said that he had heard from Rav Moshe Zatzal that there's no Tachanun on Oso Yom. The same day as the Bar Mitzvah. It's considered Yom Mamash Kulotov. It's the day that we do not say Tachanun. I really didn't know that. And I'm glad that all of us could be here together. After all, my shver, and I don't mean the Moriah Hotel, I mean my shver, my shviga, really went out of their way to bring us all together here, all the friends and relatives. It's just absolutely wonderful to have my brother-in-law and family, my brother Moshe, my parents came. We're very, very pleased. I must be honest with you, I have good news and bad news. I didn't really plan to speak this morning. I planned to greet Dovid, the bar mitzvah, but my shver asked me to say a few words, so I grabbed the sefer, I grabbed what I was preparing, Alice Parshas Zochor and Inyan of Purim, and I thought that I would relate it to what we're doing here this morning. One of the things that I'd like to address myself to the bar mitzvah, to Dovid bar mitzvah, one of the things that we've always stressed in our home, and I think it's something that goes back to Chet Adam Rishon, is the idea of Hakaras HaTov. And Baruch Hashem, trained the children, and like children, we've all trained each other to be Makir Tov. So to say that I'm Makir Tov to Kodesh Baruch Hu, Makir Tov to Mishpacha, to relatives, friends, everybody could help. I'm even Makir Tov to my patients who moicha that I should take a day off this morning, or a whole day off. Hakaras HaTov is a very important thing, and I think that we can relate it really to the idea of Zochor. The Shakas Aryeh in Siman Yud Gimel asks about the Zechirus, and especially the Zechirus of Yitzias Mitzrayim, and of course it goes to the idea of Bamolei, is it enough to be Maharher? Is it enough for somebody to think? After all, I know a lot of people who are very appreciative but cannot express it. They don't know how to say it out loud. When it comes to the halacha of Hirur Kedibur, of course this is a machlokas, and we're supposed to say Hirur, lav Kedibur in certain situations, especially when it comes to the idea of Schira. The Gemara in Migdal Zayin speaks about the idea Kra al Peh, Klomar Megillah lo Yotza. So it says, Amar Rava, Asya Zechira Zechira, Siv Hacha Vayimim Ola Nizkurim V'Nasim, and we are approaching Purim, so it is a double in Yonat Yoma. V'Ksiv Hasam, Kasov Zov Zikaron B'Sefer, B'Sim B'Ozne Yoshua, Ki Mocho Emcha Zecher Amolet. Mala Holan B'Sefer Kam B'Sefer. Maybe it's enough to learn the sugya. After all, when it comes to learning Torah, the idea of learning Torah is really more of learning. It's a davar b'leiv. It's not necessarily a davar that we have to speak out. Don't the Mekubalim say I should speak out Torah? It's a derech davka for what we're talking about zechira. Still, the Gemara has a havamina that perhaps we could do it be'iyun. I don't have to say it. So the Gemara says, "Umashani lo sagdat the chsiv zachar yachal b'lei kishuamer lo tishkach hareshech chasalei." Torah says lo tishkach. This is leiv. I shouldn't forget. Not forgetting is a negative thing. This is something in my heart. This is not something I express in my dibur. But umani mekayim zachar v'peh. And sure enough, the Sifra, which is Alpi Kabbalah Sifra, is Rabbi Yehuda, says, and the Ramban brings it in Parshas Yiketze, the Zochar et asher asa Hashem Elokech Miriam, shekosav zeh azhar lashon hara, sheyizkor es asher nasa Miriam atzadei shalachsav Torah al shedivar lashon hara. This is Ramban in the Torah. There is machlokas Ramban and the Rambam in Sefer Mitzvahs. What is there a mitzvahs asay involved in this? Was it here some mitzvahs asay? He comes to the Shabbos Shalomolek. Kmo zochos yom asher asher tzasim in Mitzrayim shekula mitzvahsu. So the Gemara, the Medrash goes on, the Sifra goes on to say, Hamani Mekayim Zochar, Shtei Shona Bepicha. Shuvolei Shome B'neged Tzoras, Mani Mekayim Zochar, Shtei Shona Bepicha. Over and over and over. So, Yotzari Dechol Oseinu, that Nichnas Adam Abba B'Simcha, we're talking about in Yonam of Purim. We have to say something about Purim. Something about Zochar, after all, the Bar Mitzvah is Pasha Zochar. But I thought that perhaps Torah is teaching, not even Chazal, Torah is teaching us directly that after all, one thinks of the Ikar Mitzvah of the Sheish Zechiras, Zochar Yom HaShabbos Zikadju, all these things, obviously the Zecher Shebelev is the Ikar. Kodesh Baruch Hu wants us to remember that we went out of Mitzrayim. He wants us to remember Shabbos. He wants us to remember to destroy Amalek. These are things Kodesh Baruch Hu wants us to remember. So it's obvious that the Havamina of the Gemara, that perhaps I don't have to say it, I just have to remember it, is enough. Because the word memory is something in my head, not necessarily something in my mouth. The Gemara, however, teaches me, Sifra is teaching me, no, it's not enough to know in your head. It's not enough to think. It's not enough to know, even though this is the Ikar Mitzvah. In order to remember and to know what you're Zocher, you have to speak it out. And I thought that in Higiyazman we have to really speak out. Not only we should not only think, we should not only appreciate. And I know how it feels as a dentist. I know a lot of patients will say, I really appreciate what you did. I said, Chaval, you didn't tell me then. You would have given me more chizuk. We all need chizuk. Kodesh Baruch Hu says, I also want chizuk. I want you to be mechazik yourselves in Divrei Torah. I want you to be mechazik yourselves in this idea of Hakaras HaTov. Don't just think it, say it. This is Cheder Adam Rishon. According to many of our Mefarshim, the Cheder Adam Rishon wasn't necessarily the apple. It wasn't just eating a fruit. It was when Adam Rishon said to Kodesh Baruch Hu, Va'isha asher natzata imodi hinasna li. So Rashi says, that he wasn't Makir Tov for a wonderful wife. And we know what it's like to be Makir Tov for a wonderful wife. So we see from Cheder Adam Rishon, perhaps that he didn't appreciate what Kodesh Baruch Hu gave him, how important it is for us to appreciate Kodesh Baruch Hu, to appreciate our relatives, our friends, our neighbors. And I hope that Dovid, Bezrat Hashem, you'll go out with this idea that Zochor, like the Sifra says, is not Yochol Belev. Maybe I should just think it in my heart. No, Kodesh Baruch Hu says, say it. When you appreciate, you say it. We appreciate what Bobby and Zayd have done for us, especially beautiful get-together, beautiful meal, beautiful Sudas Mitzvah. We appreciate that people came, like Grandma and Grandpa came, and Uncle Stewie and Chaim and Raisi. We have to not only think it, we have to say it. And Bezrat Hashem, like Rabbi Kowalski said, it should be Yesh Mocha Shilachar Zman. We should think that this Yom is a Yom that it's really just a Hatchala. After all mitzvahs and all difficult things are like that. We want to be Mesamech, L'chasa and Torah. We want to be Mesamech, just in the same way Chasa and Kala. Why are we Mesamech these people? Because it's difficult. Nichnas, the Torah mitzvahs, it's a lot of fun today, but it's not so easy. Torah mitzvahs, it's not so simple to stay up nights and learn and to worry about mitzvahs. And Godel ha-mitzvah v'oseh, mi shalom mitzvah v'oseh, because before you have mitzvah, you feel, I'm doing Kodesh Baruch Hu a favor. But now I have to do it. So there's a lot of pressure. There's no question that the halachic life is a pressured life. So Kodesh Baruch Hu says, you know what, in order to help you, don't just think things. Say out the Divrei Torah, say it when you learn, say what the mitzvahs are, say what you think to people, say that you appreciate. So it's a Yom Lizkor, it is, after all, Parsha Zohar. It's a Yom to remember to speak. After all, this is the idea of the Ruach Memalala. Kodesh Baruch Hu made us Nevesh Chaya. Chazal say, the Ruach Memalala, we're people who speak. So with that, I'd like to ask our Chasa and Bar Mitzvah, Chasa and Torah, literally, Dovid, to get up and speak. Please have Savlanut. This is, I think, the first time ever our Dovid is getting up to speak, and it's not so simple. I don't know if it's harder for us or for him, but some Savlanut, and Dovid would like to share a few ideas with you, and he promises, I think, to be brief. Shikar.
Relatives and friends from close and far.
Take it away.
My dear Bobby and Zaidi, relatives and friends from close and far.
Louder.
My Bobby and Zaidi, who are making this simcha, didn't really want to pressure me to speak today. However, me and my father decided I'll say a few words. And in order to honor you, I'll try to make them quick. In my parsha, there are two very obvious questions. One is that Moshe Rabbeinu, our Rebbe, is not really mentioned, but he's called for by the name Ve'ata. And there's another question, which is, why is Mizbech HaTorah mentioned in our parsha? Shouldn't it be mentioned in Parsha Truma with the other Mizbech and with the other Klei Mishkan? Many Mefarshim try explaining this problem, this especially the Ramban and Sforno. However, I would like to bring the view of this Nitziv and perhaps understand better these answers. The Nitziv tells us that each kli of the Mishkan is brought as a kapara for an avera. The clay Mishkan relate to the Aron Kodesh, which symbolizes Torah learning and mitzvah observance. The Mizbech Torah, on the other hand, the Mizbech Torah is kapara for Lashon Hara, and is to be Ma'aleh Zikaron Shel Gemilut Chesed, to remind God of our good deeds. Chazal are likened, the good deeds are likened by Chazal to the Torah. The Nitziv brings a wonderful proof. The Nitziv brings a wonderful proof in his idea from the story in Masechet Yom. Amar Rav Yoshua ben Korcha, Amar Rav Yoshua ben Korcha, Sach li zaken echad, פעם הלכתי לשילה, ורחתי ורח טוב, מבין כותליה. What a weird story. Why did the old man smell the Torah in Shiloh, which was burned 500 years before his time, and also in Yerushalayim it was burned 500 years longer? Shouldn't he have smelled it in Jerusalem? The answer is the Nitziv. The old man is speaking metaphorically. The old man is speaking metaphorically and trying to show the chashivut of Gemilut Chesed and working well. However, the Yisod of Yerushalayim is Torah, and on the other hand, Shiloh is well known for its good Gemilut Chesed. Well, there's another proof from Masechet Sanhedrin. מגר בשילה 3 מילים. יהיה מתערב העשן של פסל מיכה מבחן של שילה. ביקשו מלכי השרת לדחות את העשן. יצא בקול על תחום שיש בהם גמילות חסד של הכנסת אורחים. From this story, we see that the Yisod of Shiloh is not learning Torah, but Gemilut Chesed, which is very important. And we learn from that the Torah is very likened to the Gemilut Chesed. And we know that there are a lot of things which have shiurim for them, like lighting the candles, hazaot, and bringing korbanot and matanot for the kohanim. But there's one thing in the Mishkan which it does not have a certain amount that you should do it, which is Tarat Torah, which symbolizes, as we saw, Gemilut Chesed. Back to Moshe. In Pashat Kisisa, after Chet HaEgel, Moshe tells the Kadosh Baruch Hu, if you don't let Israel get away with this with Chet HaEgel, I wouldn't like to be in your Sefer Torah. Answers the Kadosh Baruch Hu, it's a good idea, I'll do it. So we see, he says to Moshe, I won't take you out of Chamisha Chumshei Torah, but I'll take you out of the Pasha, which doesn't symbolize your Torah, Torah of Moshe, but symbolizes Gemilut Chesed, because we have the Torah. I don't want you to think that Chalila, I'm from a family of Odeh Avodah Zarah, but